So it's left to men like Davis Younts to fight.
Lawyer R. Davis Younts says by doing this, the military may have violated the constitutional rights.
Who has successfully defended naval law.
Ask you because San Francisco is perhaps one of the worst offenders of all this. They'll like to say that the crime and everything, that there's just nothing they can do about it. You have to deal with the garbage on the streets, the needles in the streets, and the threat of being attacked every day. However, when the Chinese president comes to town to meet with Biden, then everything is hunky-dory. They can get the streets clean. They can do whatever needs to be done. And of course, as you see there, they've got all the flags of China. That should be a red flag right there. The communist flags flying. But last 30 or so seconds, if you have comment on what we're seeing from San Francisco leaders saying, basically, screw our citizens, but when world leaders come to visit, well, at least put on a good face for them.
Well, it's a question of misplaced priorities, but what's even worse is it looks like a celebration of the Chinese are some of the worst human rights offenders and some of the worst persecutors of Christians and other minorities in the world. So I find it terribly offensive, and my heart aches for people that see this and see the message that this sends when this can happen. Because what about the people of San Francisco that have to deal with this crime and these disgusting streets every day? If they can clean it up, that's a question of priorities and it's a question of policy, but it's deeply concerning. There's a lot of different things we could say about it, but it feels like there's more reverence for a communist dictator with a terrible human rights record than there is for our own citizens in San Francisco.
And the fact that Newsom is doing so much for him and that he's trying to run for president, well, basically this is what it looks like, and he keeps running to Xi for help on that, kind of shows you where the real power is. And it's not that he believes it's in the hands of American voters. He thinks it's abroad. But Davis, always a pleasure having you on. Thanks for joining us tonight.